Turnabout here. Could be doing a continuing reaction to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Operation Turnabout, Episode 3. I'm going to make this into a parter because it's super long. Yeah, it's been a long time since I reacted to these, and might as well finish it up. I tried making a reaction to another video, but they kind of blocked me, so I had to delete that. So that was fun, being blocked. So we'll just get to it. No wonder.
Nick! Wake up, Nick!
This is about the guy who was being accused of being bombing some dude.
I feel like I was just dragged
It's
through
kind
3
of
miles of
confusing.
thorny undergrowth.
Oh, I'm sure it'll pass. Either way, we don't have time for you to just lie there. Get up!
I've actually never played these games at all.
Francisco on Karma. Please give me a sec to recover, Maya. There.
Oh yeah, Karma's, I think, that lady
we're
with the
good to
whip.
go? What's the plan, Nick?
First of all, we're going to go back to the detention center and have a chat with Mike. We can't have him hide anything else from us. After that, it's back to the regiment to see what we can find about Captain Harvey and his possible motives for suicide. Maybe get some first aid for my wounds, too.
You have to check the other videos to understand what the heck's going on. I can barely remember.
Keep our eyes and ears open today. There's no telling what will happen in tomorrow's trial. So we'd better be prepared for anything. Oh.
All I know is they're trying to prove this guy's innocence, and there's like an explosion in the room, things like that. Episode 3, alright. This is the guy that
Mr.
is
November,
being accused
we need to
for
talk.
murder.
I suppose we do. Listen, I'm sorry for the hassle in court.
You must understand that defending your case against Prosecutor Von Karma is hard enough without you withholding critical details. We need your full cooperation, Mike. It's your life that's on the line here. Apologizing isn't going to do you much good if you're found guilty.
Yep.
I was afraid, alright? I thought if I had told you that my locker was full of explosive materials, you would have thought I was guilty for sure. I knew it was a thing I should have told you about. But I was feeling desperate, and I didn't want to risk you not taking my case. I would have stood no chance otherwise.
It would have been nice to know. That is exactly the kind of thing we need to be prepared to explain.
I know. I know. I won't keep anything vital from you anymore.
Some people are just dumb.
Vital. I wonder if that includes what he's hiding behind those psyche locks. It's worth a shot, but I should ask him about other things before poking the hornet's nest.
There are a couple of
Hey,
details.
it's fun poking the
that
nest.
you should know.
Whoa, what do we have here? A fully formed beehive. Must have taken months to build that guy. Well, guess what? Skidoo! Oh, God!
You said that you learned the date of Captain Harvey's absolution day while packing for the camp on Saturday. That was only 2 days before the actual date.
Yeah, that's true.
Considering how few people went to meet Captain Harvey in the end, I'm gonna go ahead and guess the date of his absolution day wasn't exactly public knowledge, was it?
Oh, we all knew that it was coming soon, because the man couldn't shut up about getting promoted to major and the like. But as you guessed, Captain Harvey didn't give us the chance to make reservations. Only the engineer company staff knew the actual date. But even so, the vast majority of the officers would have no choice but to attend the camp. According to our pre-camp briefing, the schedules for signals and engineering would be extremely strict, and all officers would have their hands full from day one. They simply couldn't afford to stay, lest the whole camp be a fiasco for the entire regiment.
But if the exact
Alright.
date was staff-only information, how did you find out about it?
You didn't hear this from me, but Staff Sergeant Tennant let us know when he was supervising us packing the
But
stuff.
we did hear it from you.
It went something like this. When you get back from the camp, men, you'll return to your brand new regiment. A regiment without that rock-face Harvey. Even though you won't have the chance to verbally tear him a new one, do not despair. I will do so for every single one of you on Monday. I'm not sure if he meant to slip the day, but it didn't matter much at that point. The rest of us privates would be returning on Sunday evening, and there wouldn't be enough time for the word to get around.
Huh. So it really was just a coincidence.
Funny, I thought it would have been
I'm
Lieutenant
kinda lost
Victoria
here.
who told you.
I did ask her about the date, but she couldn't tell me. I guess because she works directly under Harvey, and it would have landed her in serious trouble.
I guess that's understandable then.
You've often said you were Harvey's private of choice to Hayes. Do you have any idea why Captain Harvey got on your case?
Probably because I'm sorta ham-fisted. Captain Harvey was constantly driving us to work harder, faster, and to achieve better results, so he could show off to the brass how great and amazing a leader he was. Unfortunately, I tended to always be the last person to complete any given task not involving demolitions, so he soon learned my name and face. To be honest, I don't think I'm that bad at a lot of things. I just take my time to make sure they're done well. Regardless, I think he wanted to smoke me out of the Corps, but with support from the rest of the company, I've found the strength to keep going.
I'm glad to hear that. Mr. November, could we talk about your meeting with Captain Harvey?
What do you want to know?
A few things. You said that Captain Harvey was intoxicated when you saw him on Absolution Day. What made you think so?
I could smell the alcohol in his breath. His speech was also somewhat slurred and his movements sluggish. I just presumed that he had been drinking for a while.
It still seems strange to me.
Oh yeah, in that building he had a lot of alcohol in there
About your
too.
fingerprints on the kill switch.
I admit, that was a bit of an overkill.
A bit? Yeah! What were you thinking?
Harvey wasn't too pleased to see me in the state he was in. One thing led to another, and soon enough insults and objects were being hurled, mostly towards me. He even threw his drink at me.
That would explain why the broken drinking glass was found by the door. Sounds like you two were having quite the brawl.
Yeah, we might
I'm
have ended
actually
up at
thinking of
each other's
doing
throats.
the game called Among
If it hadn't
Us.
been
Maybe
for
I
the
could do a
phone
video of
call.
that.
Wait, somebody called the Iron Chamber?
Yeah, I guess I forgot to mention that. Someone called Harvey's desk phone about 5 minutes after I had entered the Iron Chamber. It was a really brief call, and after that, Captain Harvey told me to return to my post at once.
Do you remember any of the conversation?
Let me think.
What?
Hello.
Wait, you can talk normal?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
We're calling from WQHG, and we'll give you $500 if you can sing Britney Spears' I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. You've got 10 seconds to...
I'm not a girl, not yet a woman.
Yeah, the sob's here. Yeah. Hell called. They want you to go back to your post, November. Get out of my sight, or I'll send you back there myself.
That's how I remember it went.
Do you have any idea who the caller was?
I'm not sure. I couldn't really make out who was on the
Normal
other end of the
phones
line,
can actually hear
but I'd
people,
wager
so
it was either
on the
Dr.
other end, even if
Siegfried
you are
or
far
Lieutenant
away.
Victoria. They were the ones who saw the note I left anyway.
So, this phone call was your cue to leave. And that's when
I
you...
still think that bomber lady with the eye patch
It was a spur of the moment.
could be a very important
I was
person.
steaming after what he said, and I felt that Captain Harvey would benefit from a
I
moment.
think there's a
of
love
quiet
relationship
self-reflection.
going on with her and him.
So I locked him in.
November,
Of course,
that guy.
I expected Lieutenant Victoria to put the power back on when her turn to visit Harvey came around.
But how did you know that cutting the power would trap him?
Oh, the whole engineer company knew about that switch. Earlier this year, some poor guy had tested it out after visiting Captain Harvey. And afterwards, Harvey made it damn sure to drill into our heads that locking him in again would bring sanctions to everyone. He was rescued by
I guess
another
that's
officer
bad.
that time, so we weren't let in on the backup generators.
It sounds reasonable enough. Now, time to stop beating around the bush. Mr. November, you promised to give your cooperation. So I ask again, what did you discuss with Captain Harvey?
Oh boy, this thing.
Mr. Wright, I know I promised to tell you everything, but
No
that
buts.
is a private matter, and again, not relevant to the case. What we talked about has no meaning.
I think he does have a relationship with that one-eyed chick.
Unless you are looking for a motive for me killing Captain Harvey. And considering you're my defense attorney, you should steer clear from such things. The prosecution doesn't know or care. And if you cannot show me incontrovertible evidence that this is somehow tied to Harvey's death, I will not feel obliged to disclose anything.
Looks like a dead end. Very well. I understand. Nevertheless, it was something that made you and Captain Harvey fight fiercely. Still, I have to ask. Do you think it's possible that Captain Harvey committed suicide based on your discussion?
It's possible, but... I hate to say it, but I don't think I believe in the suicide theory.
Why not?
Harvey was not the type of person to see suicide as an option. He was not depressed, regretful, or tormented. In fact, he seemed overjoyed with his promotion. It just doesn't make sense to me.
But then, what do you think happened?
I don't even know anymore.
I think that eye
If it
patch
wasn't a
chick killed
suicide,
him.
It must have been a murder. Who did it, or why? I have no idea. All I know for sure is that I had nothing to do with it.
This case is certainly something else. I think this is all we needed to know for now, Mr. November. Thank you for helping us.
It's the least I can do. I hope you can make sense of things.
You didn't
We all
exactly
can
help
get
that
some
much. I mean, you still got some
We'll do our
secrets
best.
on you.
Indeed. It's time to head back to the regiment to
I know
question
he
the
says
staff some
it's
more,
irrelevant,
and see if
but
we can
more than
find
likely
ammo
it's
for
gonna be
tomorrow's
relevant.
trial.
That's why they got those chains thing. Once they're all broken, we'll all know the truth.
Attention. This is Captain Adele Renaud of the Allied Nations Peacekeeping Corps. This compound is a restricted area, and taking photographs or loitering in its vicinity is a criminal offense. All violators will be arrested and prosecuted.
Okay.
This is your last warning. Vacate the premises
Guess I better not drop the soap. That one's the death penalty.
immediately. I repeat, this is your last warning. Vacate the premises immediately. To those of you representing the media, the regiment will issue an official statement on the investigation in due time. There will be no exclusives. I repeat, disperse immediately or you will be arrested and your equipment will be confiscated.
Oh,
They've
crap.
really brought up the security here since yesterday.
The media seems to have a newfound interest in this case, at least. Or it might have something to do with a certain someone I know trying to scale the fence yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Nick! That chain link fence was just begging for someone to grab onto it and climb over.
Yes, a perfectly normal thought to have.
You never climb
For
over
a
a fence of a
chimpanzee.
military
We're
compound.
free to come and
Never.
go as we please thanks to our key cards.
And you two had better not lose them.
Ah, this
What
guy.
we need here is more security issues to deal with.
Ah, Captain Renard.
In the flesh. Back to investigate, are you?
Yes, sir! There's plenty of things left to do here.
Very well. I do have to say, I am surprised to see you return. I did not expect the trial to last another day.
Don't worry, sir. Nick usually takes an additional day or two to get the acquittal.
It's not that. I expected Private November to be found guilty, to be honest.
Excuse me, what?
Don't take it too personally. Why, any sane person would think he did it, don't you agree? The evidence speaks for itself.
I have full faith in Private November, sir.
Of course you do. I guess it remains to be seen just how long your faith will take you.
Hey, Nick, we have the security chief at our disposal. Maybe we should ask some questions?
Right. Could we take a moment of your time, Captain?
It would appear that the vultures of the media took the hint. I can spare a moment, but keep it brief.
Great, thank you.
What can you tell us about the victim, Captain Janice Harvey?
He was the head of the engineer company.
That's it.
Is there anything else you could tell us?
What can I say? I don't keep tabs on every single officer in the regiment.
That makes sense.
What I know of the man, I have learned from reading his
I
profile.
mean, with my short-term memory, I can barely remember
Neat.
anybody's
Can we
names.
see them?
Absolutely not. You are not authorized to even be in the same room with them.
What if I gave you a pretty smile and please?
In that case, I should consider arresting you for attempted bribery of an officer.
Better not try then.
So there's really nothing you could tell us?
I didn't know Captain Harvey as a person. The only information I have on him is from reading his personal files when processing his promotion.
So you knew about his promotion as well?
Naturally. As the security chief, I need to be aware of all changes in the regiment's chain of command.
I don't think I could ever
Promotions
survive
also
in that
include some
military.
practical tasks that fall on the regiment's security forces, such as pre-transferal searches and packing.
And this is all part of normal protocol?
Yes, I had a security team perform a meticulous search, make a list of all the items in Captain Harvey's office but a day before his death, to make sure no regiment property would be transferred with him. A shame it turned out to be a waste of time.
A list of Harvey's stuff? We could use that!
I do not have it with me now, and unfortunately I need to be leaving for a meeting. I submitted the list to the police, so you may ask them for that, if you really want to see it
If
before the
they'll
trial.
let you.
If that list has found its way into Francisca's hands, I'm pretty sure she won't give it up without a fight. And she has a whip. What would I even do? Throw paper and sneeze at her?
Hey! Earth
Well,
Tech!
in 2020
While you were
that would
spacing
actually
out,
work.
Captain Renard took his leave!
Oh, drat! On the bright side, he didn't seem too eager to share information with us in the first place. Anyway, if we want to learn anything about Harvey's personality, we should talk to the person working closest to him, Lieutenant Victoria.
I hope she isn't still mad at you.
I sure pray we don't have to
I wonder what
re-experience
year
what
this
happened in
was made.
court this morning.
In the 90s? Probably 90s or 80s.
Ah, Mr. Wright and Miss Fay.
I still
Good,
think she has a
afternoon,
relationship
Lieutenant.
with November.
Afternoon to you as well.
And
It
that
is
she
not a
was
habit
probably
of
the
mine
killer.
to stay silent about things I feel need to be said, so please excuse my bluntness. Your performance in court today was lacking, to put it mildly.
But Nick did his best.
We were at a heavy disadvantage there.
I am fully aware of that. I am more upset because you stalled at a critical moment. We are not playing games here, Mr. Wright. You do understand that the fate of the rest of Mike's life is in your hands, don't you?
I do, Lieutenant. I fully understand my responsibility, but bickering will not help our situation.
I am merely expressing my discontent. I trust my message has gotten across by now, however. How can I be of further assistance to you?
We have some questions we'd like to ask you.
By all means, go ahead.
Something that's caught my eye is that you're very interested in this trial. According to Mr. November, the two of you have quite a warm relationship.
I do hope you haven't gotten any particular ideas. Mike is my protege first and foremost.
Sure.
When it comes to demolitions, he has a natural talent. And for his weaknesses in other areas, he makes up with pure motivation. He is a man who never gives up, and neither should you. Naturally, the prospect of having my star student found guilty of something he didn't do upsets me.
I don't mean to be rude or anything, but how can you be so sure about his innocence?
For the same reasons as you, I'd wager. Do we not trust other people to tell us the truth when we ask them to? I have spent enough time with Mike to get to know his character. He is honest and extremely conscientious. If he says that he didn't kill Captain Harvey, then I will not be the one to question his innocence.
Fair enough. Still, the amount of dedication slightly perplexes me.
What can you tell us about Captain Harvey?
Captain Harvey. He was a leader of the company and my direct superior. He was also a ruthless man preoccupied with his own status and a generally unpleasant person to be around. His methods did, however, produce results, even if he didn't win anyone's hearts over with them. Even though I was effectively second in command, Captain Harvey kept the strings tightly in his own hands and called all the shots. He didn't even let me decide the time of our last meeting on Absolution Day. Can you believe it?
Second in command? Does that make you officially the person in charge now that Captain Harvey is gone?
Yes, that does make me the de facto leader of the engineer company, though Harvey's death didn't speed up the process by much. He was going to be transferred away, and a new leader for the company would have been needed regardless. Not to mention, I was practically doing all of his work, while he spent his time idling and harassing privates.
That sounds really unfair. Why didn't you do anything about it?
Yeah.
It is unfair, but delegating tasks is not illegal. Orders are orders. If I had had the choice, I would have left for our field training camp with the others, but Harvey ordered me to stay and get his transferal paperwork out of the way for him. A task I was almost happy to oblige with. It was my intention to bring him the finished documents on Absolution Day, but I never got the chance. He took his own life before that.
So you believe that Captain Harvey committed suicide?
If Mike didn't kill him, then that's a logical alternative, isn't it? Need I remind you that it was me who subtly suggested that during the trial's most crucial moment?
Yeah, I could hardly forget. Do you have any idea what might have driven him to kill himself?
I have a hunch. Captain Harvey received word of his promotion near the end of February, and rushed to schedule his Absolution Day to be on the earliest possible day, March 4th, a mere week later. Conveniently for him, the timing also overlapped the beginning of our field training camp, so he would have to deal with almost no negative feedback.
He sure was in a hurry to get out.
Clearly. He was absolutely overjoyed and boasting to everyone about his promotion. At first.
At first? What happened?
All of a sudden, Captain Harvey grew paranoid and withdrew into the iron chamber, hardly ever coming out. Perhaps he was afraid that someone might jeopardize his chance to rise in the ranks. Or maybe he realized that he was ill-prepared for his new duties, since I was the one doing all of his truly challenging tasks.
What if it had been revealed that you were the one doing all the work?
That would definitely have been bad news for Harvey, but I suppose it doesn't matter anymore.
I'd best make note of this.
Suspicious.
So, according to you, he might have committed suicide out of fear of being exposed.
Yes, exposed. For being an unskilled leader.
Say we were to rule out suicide as an option. Could the explosion have been a result of an accident?
It was no accident.
Sorry?
Oh, I meant to say that if Harvey's death had been a mere freak accident, the police would have noticed right away. Clean pressure explosions like this just don't happen. Someone had the intention of killing Captain Harvey, and I can only see it as being Harvey himself.
I see. So you believe there's no way it could have been a murder?
I trust in every person who met with Captain Harvey on Absolution Day, but there is a nominal possibility that the keycard logs are not complete.
Oh!
Now this is getting interesting.
Don't get your hopes up too high. I am just saying that there exists a possibility that Captain Harvey may have deleted a part of the logs. They were temporarily stored on his computer's hard drive after all. He used to delete my logs all the time when I brought him the reports he had made and such.
This is crucial information. It could mean that there may have been an unlisted visitor. Or even that Harvey left the iron chamber at some point.
I'm afraid that both are very unlikely scenarios. You can only delete the logs of other people's keycards, not your own. Had Captain Harvey left and returned, we could have seen it from the logs. Another thing is that you can only delete, not modify the information in any way. Additionally, the deletion must happen locally at the computer where the data is stored, which naturally requires authentication. In the case of the iron chamber, that would have been Captain Harvey's PC. The only way to delete the logs was literally by Harvey's own hand.
You are referring to the fingerprint lock, right?
Exactly. It just does not make sense to me.
This is very valuable information in either case. Thank you for telling us.
You're welcome. Just try not to get sidetracked by it. The murder weapon is a far more important factor in this incident.
Speaking of that, can you tell us anything about the explosive that went off in the iron chamber?
Now we're talking. I haven't been to the crime scene myself, but as we know, Harvey's death was caused by a pressure explosive. Pressure explosives can be utilized in demolitions tasks, but also on anti-personnel concussion grenades. Their lethality is based primarily on the pressure shockwave they give off when they explode. Outdoors, their lethality is greatly diminished, but in enclosed spaces such as the iron chamber, they are very lethal.
How hard would it be to create one?
It's a fairly simple build if you know what you are doing, but it takes some skill and materials. As Prosecutor Von Karma put it, the only viable suspects are those with the know-how: Mike, Harvey, and I.
Mike told us
That
that
makes
someone
you a
called the
suspect.
Iron Chamber when he was there, and suspected it was either you or Dr. Siegfried. So, was it you?
Don't you ever question that again, or I'll...
No, that must have been Dr. Siegfried. After finishing my lunch, I took a stroll to the barracks to see how things were going there. I found Dr. Siegfried by Mike's post, and he showed me the note Mike had left. I still cannot believe he would disobey orders like that. I decided to wait with him until Mike finally showed up around 12:20, just when Dr. Siegfried told me he was going to call Captain Harvey's office. Dr. Siegfried should be at the regiment's hospital if you want to hear his side of things.
Great, thanks!
Thank you for all your help, Lieutenant.
You are most welcome.
I guess we'll have to talk to Dr. Siegfried again then.
Oh yeah, the doctor dude.
Ooh, this is a nice place.
Looks like our doctor isn't in at the moment, though.
You know what they say, Nick. When the cat's away, the mice look for decisive evidence.
I suppose we can take a look around.
I'm gonna pause it right here. Yeah, it's actually starting to get a little interesting. And, what else? This will be part 1. Hopefully they'll let me post it. So, yeah, hope you guys like part 1. And have a nice day.